The Colorado Avalanche, an NHL team that has seen a ton of success over generations of hockey. The Avalanche have been among the top teams in the NHL thanks to their highly talented players such as Nathan MacKinnon, Cale Makar, and Mikko Rantanen. But despite all of this talent, the team has struggled since their successful cup run back in 2022. Known for their fierce competitiveness and playoff aspirations, the Avalanche and their fan base find themselves in a somewhat unfamiliar situation to start their 2024-25 season campaign. Beginning the year with a 0-3-0 record and a -10 goal differential is not ideal for the Avalanche, but in reality, if you're a Colorado fan, this news shouldn't really shock you at all. In fact, this was to be expected. Thanks to injuries and salary cap restrictions, the Avalanche are playing without key players in their lineup, something that has definitely hurt this team's ability to win at a high level, not just this season, but over the past few seasons as well. Well, today, let's break down this Colorado Avalanche team, their season, their recent injuries, roster changes, and deficiencies, to see if this is just a setback for the team or a sign of what's to come. To better understand the 2024-25 Colorado Avalanche, let's take a look back at the past couple of seasons to show you guys how the Avalanche got into this position in the first place. The Avalanche have been one of the best drafting teams over the past decade, organically selecting players like Nathan MacKinnon, Gabriel Landeskog, Cale Makar, and Mikko Rantanen, developing all four of these players into top 10 talents. With this core over the past 7 seasons, the Avalanche have made the playoffs, but only one of those years the team would move past the second round. This was the year they won the Stanley Cup. Inconsistent performances outside of their star players, of course, has become the new norm for this team in most of their playoff runs. Whether they are stifled by opponents' defenses or just simply missing open net opportunities, the Avalanche do not have the depth to be able to keep up with some of the top teams in the league once postseason hockey arrives. Alright guys, pause the video real quick. I have a cool giveaway for you today. I've been wanting to give back to you guys as my community for a while now, and I have this cool opportunity to partner with this apparel company called Iron and Steel Threads. It's a hockey company that donates a portion of every sale to youth hockey families to make it more accessible. And I'm sure we all can get behind a cool initiative like that. Well, they sent me over a bunch of their apparel, some t-shirts, hoodies, stickers, socks, all that good stuff for me to give back to you guys in any sort of giveaway that I wanted. So I have a contest today for you guys to enter to win some of the merch that I'm flashing across this screen. All you have to do is subscribe to the channel and comment your favorite Colorado Avalanche player and why you enjoy watching them play the game. Once you do that, you'll be entered into the contest and I will announce the winners in a later video. Huge shout out to Iron and Steel Threads for making this giveaway possible. Be sure to go check out their store, their Instagram, their TikToks, all that good stuff will be in the description. Good luck on this one, guys, and let's get right back into the video. Injuries have become a very large factor when it comes to this Colorado Avalanche organization. Something that's outside of the team's control, but something that has played a massive factor into their lack of success since their cup run in 2022. Starting off with the most important player who hasn't been on the ice, Gabriel Landeskog. Not playing since 2022, the team has lost their captain and one of the best second-line centers in today's game. Landeskog's knee unfortunately was deeply cut by teammate Cale Makar's skate, damaging cartilage that surrounded the area and forcing him to miss time. Landeskog would play through his injury and lead his team to a Stanley Cup that year, but eventually he underwent a cartilage transplant procedure that had a very long recovery timeline. Landeskog has been on LTIR for quite some time now, and there is a lot of uncertainty about his return. Some say he's been working to get back and could potentially be in the lineup this season. And if you watched his NHL Face-Off documentary parts, you can see that he clearly wants to be back with the team, but unfortunately his body just isn't cooperating. Others are saying that this could be a potential career-ending injury, that we may never see him in the lineup ever again, being permanently sidelined because of one play. Either way, his absence is massive for the team, and not having him in the lineup is a large reason why the team hasn't gotten back to the conference finals since their championship run. Landeskog's injury isn't the only one that the Colorado Avalanche have had to deal with in the past couple of years. In fact, this season alone, the Avs have taken a massive hit when it comes to their lineup and their health. Valeri Nichushkin has missed significant time over the past few seasons for personal reasons, and while we don't like to get into that kind of stuff because it's his own personal business, he will be out for a 6-month duration because of a suspension. Artturi Lehkonen is out with a shoulder injury and will be out for a few weeks, with doctors reevaluating him on October 28th. Jonathan Drouin with an upper body injury will also be out until October 28th and be reevaluated at that point. Tucker Poolman will be out with a head injury for a while, and Devon Toews currently is on a day-to-day basis with an injury that's unknown to the public at this point. These players are all top 6 forwards and crucial pieces to this Avalanche roster, and with them being out, the Avs have seen a pretty significant drop-off in their offense, their speed, and their overall production, leading to less scoring and fewer wins. These injuries have also impacted other areas of this Colorado Avalanche's roster, like their defense and their ability to impact the offensive side of the game. Losing players like Landeskog takes away that extra layer to the Avs defense. The team's defenders are likely to hang back more often, slowing down the overall speed of the team, which is one of Colorado's biggest strengths. Pair all of this with the fact that the team traded defenseman Bowen Byram, who they could probably use right now with Devon Toews missing time, for Casey Middlestat last year, which right now can help with their forward depth, but with some of the other top 6 guys out, his production is most likely going to be on the decline until they return to the lineup. At this point, you're basically relying only on McKinnon, Rantanen, and Makar, which will earn you wins, but it just isn't sustainable with the rest of the roster not being capable of assisting them throughout this timeline. We've seen a lot of these losses impacting the star players and the lineup, with even players like Cale Makar showing frustration after his game against the New York Islanders, where he had 2 different plays that were completely sloppy by his standards. One in front of the net where he completely misjudged where the puck was going, and this other one where he turned the puck over right to Brock Nelson for one of the easiest goals he'll probably score in his career. Now, obviously, we've talked about their defense, their offense, and their injuries, but I think there's one thing that a lot of Avalanche fans are probably screaming about right now, and that's their goaltending. Alexander Georgiev, he's a very high-quality starter, so don't get that twisted. I think there's a lot of problems when it comes to him being the only goalie that's available for the Colorado Avalanche to use, though. Through his first 3 games this year, Alexander Georgiev allowed 20 goals against. Definitely not his best, but I think this is more about the injuries and roster turnover than anything else. Something that's worth noting with Georgiev is the fact that he has been used as a horse for the Avalanche since arriving in Denver. In his first year, he played 62 games, averaged a .919 save percentage, and 2.53 goals against average. Second year, he played 63 games and averaged an .897 save percentage with a 3.02 goals against average, which is a significant drop-off from the year prior. Georgiev had never been a starter since he was playing in New York. Playing behind both Shesterkin and Lundqvist, he was at best a tandem goalie and at worst a backup. His quick rise to starter level in Colorado has been a pleasant surprise, but with his recent dip, it feels almost irresponsible for the Avalanche to not pick up a better backup goalie to help him out in net when Georgiev is clearly being overplayed. The cap situation for every team is difficult, and while I do understand the Avalanche are a bit against it at this point with the organization, I just feel like it was a little irresponsible for them to not address this backup goalie need in the offseason, especially with some of the affordable, high-quality backups that were available, like Laurent Brossoit, Scott Wedgwood, and Casey DeSmith, who all signed some pretty friendly deals with the organizations they chose to go to. Georgiev is a starting level goalie to me in this league, and I do feel like he's still one of the better options for the Colorado Avalanche to choose from at this point. But goalies don't play 60 games anymore, and it's about time Colorado understood this, or they may just be hanging themselves out to dry in their own crease. So with all of that being said, should you be worried about the Colorado Avalanche, the future of this team this season, their health, their roster, all of the above? Well, yes and no. As far as the future is concerned, this team will basically be among top contenders for the foreseeable future. McKinnon, Makar, and other forwards are pretty much locked down, and Rantanen will likely be re-signed with no hesitation based on the way he's played over the past few seasons. As for this season though, there are a lot of concerns that worry me about their chances to compete for a cup this year. And if the Avalanche can't find a balance with this roster amidst all of the injuries, then this team might be in trouble. There are a few positives to take away from this. They'll be able to bring up some rookies, give them some playing time, as well as see if there's some other players who are able to step up during this kind of down period for the organization when it comes to health. But I still firmly believe this team is capable of winning at a high level and should be in the mix of things when the playoff times come around because they still have players available in their system. It's just all about health at this point. any team who lost 4 of their top 6 forwards would be in the exact same position. And while the defense hasn't been off to a great start, I do believe that Cale Makar and the rest of this group is going to turn it around. And as for Georgiev, if he's unable to turn it around, then the Avalanche really only have themselves to blame. Starting a guy for 60 plus games just isn't a thing anymore, and I don't think any goalie would thrive in a system where defensemen are hurt, forwards are hurt, and now you are being put in the net nearly every night, being told to stop all of the pucks that come at you. It's just not sustainable, and it was irresponsible for them to not address their backup needs. This is not to say that the Avalanche are not going to make the playoffs this year. This is more to just inform you guys about the struggles that the organization is going through right now with some of their top players. I mean, seriously, if you can name another organization that would lose this many players and still be able to put up some great wins and numbers throughout the entire season, be my guest, because I can't think of a single one. Obviously, McKinnon, Makar, and Rantanen are going to do their best to keep this team afloat, but the struggle is going to be serious for this team over the next couple of weeks, especially if some of the injuries that they have to guys like Lehkonen and of course Drouin are a little bit more severe than they might think right now. But as always, I want to discuss this further with you guys. How are you feeling about the Colorado Avalanche? Do you think that they're going to be able to sustain this little storm that they're going through injury-wise? And do you think this team is still going to be among the top contenders for the Stanley Cup this year once they get themselves into the playoffs at the end of the season? As always, let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. I will see you guys in the next one.